Okay, so I wanted to talk about this real quick because Cooper Flagg has declared for the 2025 NBA draft, and you guys know my thoughts already on this. Is I know there was a certain deadline, and obviously Cooper Flagg probably had to declare for the NBA draft, but there is a rule in there that if you don't hire an agent yet, you can go back to school, right? You can declare and then go back to college. I think Cooper Flagg, in my opinion, has the ultimate leverage here, where he was such a superstar at Duke, right? He brought people to the March Madness tournament. It was the most watched tournament easily in about a decade. Everybody wanted to see Duke, not only because they had this amazing team, because they had by far and away, in my opinion, the best player in college basketball this year in Cooper Flagg. His story being that he's 18 years old, still should be a senior in high school, yet here he is lapping people essentially, some really good players in college basketball, and it looks like a man among boys. That being said, Cooper Flagg is in a rare space right now in the NBA where we have guys like Giannis Antetokounmpo, Victor Wembanyama, Luka Doncic, Nikola Jokic, these international players dominating the sport. And so Cooper Flagg would come in my opinion, and be instantly right there with Jason Tatum and Anthony Edwards and maybe a couple others like a Donovan Mitchell as the best American born basketball player. And I've been saying this all along. I think the Western Conference right now is so deep, right? You look at the playoff teams from Oklahoma City to Houston to Golden State to the Lakers to Minnesota to the Clippers to Denver. Then you look even, outside of that, some playing teams. What could Dallas be with Kyrie and Anthony Davis healthy? What could the Spurs be with Victor Wembanyama healthy? So the West is loaded. The East right now, Giannis can't even compete against the Indiana Pacers, who don't even have a superstar on their roster. The Knicks can barely compete with a young and up and coming Detroit Pistons team. It is a two-horse race between the Cavs and the Celtics. And I think the East, you look at the West again, all these stars. Just in the playoffs here alone, right? SGA, John Moran, Kawhi Leonard, Nikola Jokic, LeBron James, Luka Doncic, Anthony Edwards, Steph Curry, Jimmy Butler, Ahmed Thompson, and Sengun, and even a Jalen Green. I think all three of them could be there someday for Houston. You got your Anthony Davises, your Zion Williamsons, your Victor Wembanyama's. The West is absolutely loaded. Out east, there's Giannis. There's a never healthy Joel Embiid, a broken down Paul George, Jason Tatum, Jalen Brown, and I think some good players and Donovan Mitchell and maybe Evan Mobley becomes in this conversation as one of the best American players in the sport. Point being, there's a lot more out west than there is in the east. And I want Cooper Flagg to go to a town that's a big market, like Chicago, like Philadelphia, out east, make the East and West more balanced, make us want to watch the Eastern Conference national TV outside of the Celtics and Cavs because the Eastern Conference top of the standings with the Cavs, Celtics, and Knicks never changed since December of this year. And it's a far cry from what's out west. I mean, Memphis out east, they're an 8 seed, obviously, in the West. They'd be the 3 seed over the Knicks in the East. So keep that in mind. I think Cooper Flagg, again, in the era of NIL that we are in, where guys are getting paid money to play in college, maybe it brings back the college basketball renaissance that has been missing because a lot of these players, like a Jalen Green, like an Ahmed Thompson, went to the G League instead of playing college basketball. But I think Cooper Flagg should use his leverage with Duke and NIL. He should use his superstardom, and he should wait to hire an agent until after the ping pong balls drop. Because if he goes to a team like Washington, who has no desire, in my opinion, to ever be a competent basketball franchise again, he'll just be buried there like Zion and Anthony Davis both were in New Orleans. Same thing, obviously, if he went to New Orleans. Same thing if he went to Charlotte with LaMelo Ball. LaMelo Ball is a nice player, along with Cooper Flagg. They'd be a fun young team. They're not really winning anything. They're not a serious basketball franchise. The Jazz had their A days back in the day with Carlos Boozer and Deron Williams back in the mid 2000s. That's the last time they were really relevant with Jerry Sloan as the head coach. And I get it, right? Laurie Markkinen's a good player. Colin Sexton's still there. They got some pieces. But as I mentioned, the Western Conference is absolutely brutal. There's too much competition there to seriously compete. So I look at it and I say, okay, Cooper Flagg, I get you had to declare for the NBA draft, but please don't hire an agent. Please keep your options open of potentially going back to Duke because I don't want to see you in Washington. I don't want to see you in Charlotte. I don't want to see you in Utah. I want to see you in a big market. Cooper Flagg in a weaker conference with the likes of Josh Giddey, Kobe White, Nikola Vucevic, Billy Donovan leading the way, former college coach, obviously, of Florida in Chicago. That works to me. Nick Nurse, championship winning head coach in Toronto. Him with Iris Maxey, you get that Philadelphia money. Maybe you move off Paul George, or even better to me, you move off Joel Embiid. You rebuild with that in the weaker East. Maybe even go out and you get a Kevin Durant. Who knows? That's the third or fourth best team in the East to me. So that's what I'd rather see Cooper Flagg do. Like that clip from the Branchworth podcast? If so, make sure you go down there and hit that subscribe button. While you're down there hitting the subscribe button, make sure to also hit the notification bell so you never miss another upload. And make sure you check out all the other clips from the Branchworth podcast right here on YouTube.